Alright, this is the Versatility of Cho Gath. Jungle Cho Gath to be exact. Now, I jungle Cho Gath a lot. He's a really strong jungler. I know he's very powerful in lane, perhaps better in lane, but his jungling should not be underestimated. People often question why I have him as tier 1 as a jungler, as of the making of this video. But it's simply because he's really good at what he does and he's incredibly versatile, which is one thing I will try to demonstrate in this video. Now, in this demonstration, I have absolutely no runes. I have masteries, at least the Smite mastery and 9 points into the utility tree to grab those experience and just 1 in the buff duration. Now, I just started off with cloth armor. In a real game, you'd probably want to grab a couple potions or something along with this cloth armor, but it's just to show how sustained he is without any healing, just some armor. Remember, this is no runes and it's limited masteries. You start off with E because that gives you the greatest damage output, more consistent than the Q, since the Q is a pretty long cooldown. It has good damage, but too long of a cooldown. Anyways, and you can see he's clearing the camps pretty fast. He's taking only a little bit of damage compared to what other junglers would do, and he's going to heal it off anyways. Now, I will admit right now, the small golems was a very, very close call. One more hit and I will have died, as you'll see soon. However, like I said, you'd probably have a couple potions. You'd probably pop one just in case. If anything, if you were to actually have runes on this and more masteries, defensive or more offensive, you probably wouldn't even need a potion. This would have probably even been faster. Anyways, I Q them from a distance so I can reset the cooldown of it, and so I'll be able to use it a lot sooner and wait out for my smite to kill the golem. As I get closer, I'm gonna just start dodging to the left, just start moving to allow my Q, hit him, and I get a free stab in, and there I get a level up. I'll be able to go home. I go home and buy 4 health potions. You probably wouldn't need that many again if you had runes, at least armor runes. Anyways, quickly taking out the golem here. I'm just showing the standard superior path, focusing on the small creep packs, getting blue after you go home, and have some levels to take it easier. Anyways, meanwhile, you can just watch this. It's pretty much just straightforward. Heal potions, kill mobs, destroy everything. I'll just talk about what Jungle Cho Gath can do in terms of versatility. As long as you balance out what you do, what you build, as in, if you go defensive, then you might as well have, you have to have some form of offense, at least through an item or runes or masteries. If you go like, let's say, full-on tank, 0, 21, 9, hopefully you have some offensive runes as attack speed or, AP on there, just so you can clear it faster. And if you go offensive on your masteries, 2109, hopefully you have armor on your runes, and you start off with a cloth, or you'll probably just get killed. Now, I'm not going to be able to get lizard because I don't have runes or anything like that. If I did, I would be able to kill it easily. In fact, Cho Gath is one of the fastest junglers in the game. This is with a superior path. This is to level 6, and this is with an aggressive golem start. He is one of the fastest junglers in the game. And, of course his speed is achieved with a few of his builds, but most of his builds can do it. Now, in this next scene, I do have masteries and runes. I have caster masteries, the 9021, and I have AP scaling red, AP scaling yellow, flat AP blues, and AP quints flat. I didn't take any armor. I'm using this clip to show 2 things. 1, Doran's ring start with an AP build, and 2, where I didn't counterbalance my offense build. I went offensive here, but I didn't counterbalance it with some defensive in somewhere else. Like if I wanted to go without any armor runes, I might as well have picked up like cloth armor to make up for that. You're gonna notice I will not be able to stay within like safe health parameters. Like in a normal jungle thing, if a jungler were to find you with pretty low health, you'd probably be dead. In the in this case, like in this case, the regular route, when you where you begin with the raids, the wolves, and the small golems, you don't get low health. But as you'll see during the second clear, you get pretty dangerously low. If somebody were to find you, you'd be dead. Remember, this route still works without any armor, just you're gonna have to back a third time before red or ignore it completely. If I had bought health potions instead of the boots, I would have been at a lot healthier. However, buying health potions is also a counterbalance. Health potions are basically effective health. So, like without potions, I'm not counterbalancing my offensive build. See? I'm pretty darn low right now. If I were to be caught by a jungler, I'd probably be killed. Or I'd probably have to blow my flash, I'd have to go home, and just waste more time. Luckily, the small creep camps are nothing to Cho Gath, especially if he builds AP. He just annihilates them. Anyways, this is a good example of not counterbalancing your offense and your defense on Jungle Cho Gath. But it's still also a good example of just how powerful he is with the right runes. With any runes. The previous one had none, this one had AP, and just look how fast he annihilates the camps. Unfortunately, without any armor, I can't kill Lizard. I just gotta make a fool of myself. And yes, if you had armor, you would have been able to kill Lizard. However, this isn't the best way to go about pathing Cho Gath, as you'll see. Jungle Cho Gath is an incredible invader once he gets his feast, but he's pretty strong early on too. He can easily clear enemy raids, and this is my standard build. Cloth armor, 2 health potions, ward. I try to go to the enemy jungle, and if they block my entrance, then I already know I can't do it, so just back off. If not, I lay a ward in that bush as you saw right there, and try to see if anybody's gonna come. If nobody comes, I just take their blue wraith and his camp, and then head to my wolves and just clear down. Easy as that. I can even risk it, get even riskier. I go to his small golems, take his wraiths, and then keep clearing. The ward allows you to do that. It allows you to stay at a safe distance and know if anybody's coming. And if not, then you can just easily take their wraiths. Anyways, I start out of wolves. The build I have is 1-13-16, grabbing the movement speed on my utility, and grabbing some basic armor and magic resistance on the defensive tree. My runes in this one are attack speed red, armor yellow, magic resistance blue, scaling per level, and movement speed. This is, in my opinion, the most standard rune set you can have for Cho Gath when he jungles. It allows you to deviate into anything you really want while still being generally tanky and have good survivability in the jungle. As you can see, easily clearing everything. Basically full health. I haven't used a single potion yet. This is basically trivial. I'm pretty fast. I'm gonna get small golems. And if I had started off in the enemy raids, I would have pretty much a ton of gold. I would have been able to use smite on the small golems again, and it would have been up by the blue golem when I got there. Anyways, talking more about the build, the cloth armor is generally because I like to counter jungle, and you need that to counter jungle. You need the armor, and having more armor is just a good thing. And being able to throw down a ward and 2 health potions, that's just for me being defensive. That's because I don't want to, get myself killed. However, I have been known to go with my Doran's ring or a sapphire crystal just to get a catalyst or get some AP in. But this build allows me to become a full tank, a disruption tank, go AP if I wanted to and still conserve some tankiness, or the elusive, attack speed Cho Gath, grabbing Wit's End and on hit effect stuff. E is not to be underestimated, it does pretty good damage. As you say, just clears everything. I only used one potion, I believe. I wasn't really paying much attention, and I'm basically at full health. I can get lizard with this path. I usually don't get lizard though. Like, I can gank right now if I wanted to. I could go top, loop around mid, and just terrorize them. I probably wouldn't have been able to kill anybody. I mean, Jungle Cho Gath has that difficulty, but if any of my spells hit, even if I don't get a kill, they do pretty good amount of damage. And there I failed my Rupture on them, so I didn't aggro them. Not a big deal really, I'll just kill them anyways. I'll restore my mana thanks to my passive. Anyways, a little tip with ganking as Cho'Gath. You're against a good player, you're not gonna land that Q. They're gonna just predict it or whatever. Yet at most, you could get them to burn a summoner spell, and that's still a good thing. However, it's usually beneficial to just walk right up to them and scream at their faces. Now they're silenced, now you can land the rupture without, being afraid of them using a summoner spell to evade it. Or you'll force them to just immediately burn it because they're gonna be panicking. Just scream in their face, they can't use anything since they're silenced, and you can apply red, you could probably use. I'm not gonna lie, his ganking is tricky. Anyways, this is another strong thing about Cho'Gath. It's, once he gets his feast, he has a health steroid. And that's not something no other jungler has. Besides having a super smite that helps secure dragon and all that other stuff, the health steroid is a big deal. Like, a lot of junglers have to worry about surviving when they gank or surviving when they get attacked. The health steroid's basically eventually going to be a giant's belt that's free for you. No other jungler can boast this. Like, a lot of junglers are afraid of being killed when they gank, so they don't buy an early oracles, they have to buy survivability mixed in with other stuff. Cho'Gath never has to buy a Madrid's Razor or a Lantern or any of that stuff. He can buy wards, he can buy an early oracles, he's got the health, he's got the beefiness, he can buy resistances, he can control the map this way. He's got basically a free Giant's Belt. That's big news for him. That's a big advantage. Using the same runes as the demonstration before, I am going to just demonstrate a blue leash with Cho'Gath. I mean, I'll get a leash from Alistair, I'll clear down my side of the jungle, and you'll see how fast Cho'Gath is. I will tell you now, I do have to head back before Lizard, but that's because I took Doran's Ring to start. That's a lot of gold saved, as I don't have to buy cloth armor. Since cloth armor is very limited on Cho'Gath, it's specific, the items it can build into, which Cho'Gath may or may not end up, actually building in a real game. I mean, Frozen Heart is a good item, but you won't always get it. Doran's Ring, however, is a good item just for him. It's like made for him. So, anyways, just a full down clear path. You see, straightforward. I'm at very good health. Really good time. I could have done this with any item. Ruby Crystal, cloth armor, boots. Anyways, I'm just showing you just how fast it is. And I'll tell you now, like if I took a more offensive build instead of the standardized rune I have, it would have been even faster. It would have been more safer. It would have been whatever. But the standard one transitions better into the game for what Cho'Gath would do on a blind pick situation or against your team just sucking and you don't know if if your AP fails you can go AP, if your tank fails, whatever. This is just all purpose. Anyways, I head back. I want to buy boots. My speed is 392 and it was in the previous demonstration. Having tons of speed on Cho'Gath and this is a great thing. That's why I take the movement speed quints and the movement speed masteries on him. Cho'Gath is pretty damn slow for a jungler. That's not a good thing. So you make up for it with runes and masteries, and he becomes incredibly fast. And it becomes a lot easier to hit things and gank people thanks to this. You don't even need red to gank. You could gank whenever you want. Having good CC allows you to do that, but if you want red, or you can donate it. I mean, if you want red, take it or donate it. I personally just take it, because I want the full experience. I just want a power level to 6. That's just a quick demonstration, and now I'll show you just how aggressive Cho Gath can be. Once more, it is the standard rune build as the ones before, and as always, you can pump in more offense if you want, you can pump in more defense. This is just a general, all-purpose build, a general rune set. You can change it however you feel like it, and it still will work as long as you make sure you counterbalance your offense, your defense. Unless you go incredible amounts of offense, you can clear everything. That just kind of depends on your path. Anyways, in this one, I'm starting off in the enemy jungle with a regrowth pendant and a potion. Starting off from the small golems, clearing my way down to the small wraiths. Like I said in the first example, the one where I personally do, I would have a ward to tell me if they were coming. If they were coming, I just bail out, easy as that. However, with that one, you have to be a lot more careful. Either way, I'm taking a regrowth pendant to show you that, more versatility on this build. I don't have as much defense, but Philosopher's Stone that early on in the game is big deal. It will pay off, and it will keep you sustained even better, and it will be noticeable on Cho Gath since he's already, basically near full health on every single camp. Just as always, he completely annihilates the small camps, and I'll have Smite up. I'll probably end up using it on the Wraith camp, I think it was. Oh, I forgot to mention one thing. There is a way to do the raids, so when your Rupture hits, you'll be able to get in a position to hit all of them with your spikes. Even I can't replicate it 100% of the time, but you can do that. Just letting you know. Anyways, I'm going to go home, buy a Philosopher's Stone, some potions, and a ward, sort of to simulate what I would do in a regular game if I went this build and this route. A ward for your team is always a nice thing, especially since you just stole the enemy jungle from the enemy. They're gonna want their jungler's gonna want to get some experience. Probably try to risk a gank, or try to invade you. So a ward early on stops someone from counter jungling you. When you get counter jungled, a good way to recover from being counter jungled is to counter jungle your opponent back. But if he knows that's what you're gonna try to do, and he prevents you from that, then you're defeated. And yes, the cycle of counter jungling is counter jungle them in order to recover from counter jungling. But if they want to recover from that or stop you, they're gonna have to counter jungle you in return, and it just goes a long-winded cycle. Anyways, you can see it's just completely incredible how sustained he is. He's fast, he's strong. Like, he is amongst one of the fastest junglers in the game. He's as sustained as Warwick is, as long as he kills the minion and gets the last hits. He is gold efficient, he is fast. If anybody says, they doubt Jungle Cho Gath, I go, Stonewall, how's Jungle Cho Gath work? I don't know, can you try this, can you do this? It's not really hard for you to go into a custom game, throw whatever runes you have on him, as long as you remember my words on counterbalancing, and you understand how to path, superior routes, leashing, aggressive route, or whatever. You can figure out whatever you want, whatever item you prefer to start with. It's just, just ask yourself what you want from Jungle Cho Gath, and he probably can do it. You just have to experiment yourself. I mean, like, I'm right now showing you, I showed you different item builds, different pretty much similar path, and even like similar path, different builds, different stuff, and the results were similar: high sustain, high speeds, and like just ludicrous survivability. I mean, he's very gold efficient. So if you're gonna ask me, don't ask me. Just try it yourself. Try whatever you want. I mean, hell, look at this path. I just went Philosopher's Stone. Philosopher's Stone aggressive path with whatever item I would want. It would work as long as I counterbalance, and I hit level 6 before 7 minutes. I just achieved strong invasion powers and ganking powers. Cho Gath is tier 1 material guaranteed.